So as you can see, guys, we're working on the boot. Got it partially welded in. Obviously this car has been through the wars, so got it welded in just at the edge inside here, right down where it hits this seal board at the top. At the moment I've only put one small weld there and one small weld up here, and the reason for that is just always the case I need to move it about. Now I'll quickly swing this round, so hold on a second. You'll maybe be in the air for a second. So let's just spin the jig round, and you'll see it in here. I'll just spot weld all the way along, and the gap's not too bad down there. Just need to tap it up and obviously tap it down, and once obviously neat, I'll weld that down in place, and then obviously just get everything into the edges here, and the wee bracket is to obviously to go back up in there. So yeah, that's got to be fixed, but you know it's coming along now. As you can see, it's starting to look like a car again, but obviously there's a few wee pieces to still fix as we go along, but obviously we still have this whole bit to come off and be replaced. So that'll be fun once we get the jig off at some point. But yeah, that's pretty much where we are at the moment. So guys, that is now the boot and the seat all welded in. Happy days. So guys, gals, we now have a boot fully welded in to place. And obviously around the back, whether we can see it or not, that's the next thing. It's all looking good. There's a few things to do in the corners here. Obviously, a wee bit of metal to add, and the other side just to tidy up as well. But overall, yeah, once you tidied up the roundabout, it was actually really easy to put in. So guys, as you can see, taking everything off the car, the jig's off, so we've placed it onto these trestles. It's just set on top of that, and the reason for that is obviously to get this on. Now we've cut this back to run about here, obviously in preparation for getting this cut in properly. Obviously replacing this back piece. This came up actually not too bad. We got one really thin section, it was about here to here, which I'll need to replace. We'll do that first. But what my father's done is we had some threaded rods, and we put some nuts together, and basically what we're going to do is once we get this in place properly, we'll weld this up here, and what we'll do is we'll pull this in down the bottom. As you can see, the floor just needs to be pulled together, because obviously you know what metal's like, it's just like a big spring. So we'll get this pulled up into place, and what we'll do is then hopefully everything will be the right diameter and we're not pulling it out in the wrong directions, but that should be all solid and hopefully correct once we crank everything up. But yeah, getting there now, starting to look like a car again. Busy. You maybe see a few spot welds, or plug welds rather, welded all down the bottom here. And we've started over the far side. We've a battery box with hinges, brackets, support brackets, and that's us got the back of the car started. We're pretty much nearly done actually. Yeah, God, that was a lot of work. Putting this back piece on to the floor was a nightmare. Everything lines up here on the top half here, and all the way down the sides. Lined up the holes here. Same on the opposite side. Lined up in the holes here. Now there was a kind of gap here, as in this way rather than this way, and we had to pull that down. But when we started pulling it down, because of the tension on the metal, this was starting to go this way, so it was all pulling away. So this was actually pulling that way when you were all trying to pull it together. Yeah, that was a pain in the arse, to be perfectly honest. So the solution was, what we did is we jammed a piece of wood in there and used the car weight to actually push the floor towards the back of the car here, rather than pushing this down towards the floor, because obviously the boot floor is, you know, it's a stronger piece of material than obviously the back of the car here. Then what we did is we just basically gave it a wee bit of a pull with our hands as well, and then we stuck a couple of clamps on, and then we just plug welded on, and that's as best as we can get. But as you can see, it's pretty decent all the way around to the far side, and all the holes all line up, and the holes line up. And we've just got all the welding to do at the back here. Finish off all the plug welds across here and down the back. And when we move round, obviously you can see the cross member is now in as well. You've seen the floor, and obviously with the boot going on, you've obviously got the back seat here as well. A bit of tidying up still to do with all the kind of welds and stuff like that inside. We'll just go quick tidy up. But we've now taken the tracers out the road, and we'll put it back on the jig, and we're ready to rock. We'll be able to spin this all over again. But that was a lot of work. But it's starting to look like a car again. We'll just pan out and have a look. It looks like a Mini. That's been a long road. That's over 2 years now. 2 years. And we've just got to this point. So, just tidied up a little bit of the doorstep. This is the one that I replaced. It's looking good. Got everything spot welded all the way down, cleaned up. We'll just fired a bit of Q-rust over the top, just to kill off anything that's there. And what I'm going to do is I'm just going to splash that with a little bit of primer, just to kind of tidy it up a bit. And yeah, that'll be another piece finished up. So yeah, let's do that.